Hey, welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be a different sort of video today. We're actually going to do an indoor cook and we're going to pan fry some Lake Erie walleye. And this is fresh. One of my boys and I went up to Lake Erie a couple of days ago, caught our limit of walleye, which was great. And as far as I'm concerned, there is no better eating fish in the world, particularly freshwater fish, than Lake Erie walleye. So I'm going to take you back a couple of days and show you some clips of us fishing and catching these walleyes. So it's going to be a catch and cook video. First one I've done. I've sort of been thinking about this for a while and this was the perfect time. Then we'll come back and we'll get our fish ready for the fryer and get it going. So thanks for joining on this new type of video. Hope to do more of these and let's get moving. Out here on Lake Erie, just off of Sandusky. Gonna be walleye fishing with any kind of luck at catch and cook.
A little bit slower. Whoa. Reel in your engine. Go ahead. Okay, we got it. So, after I take the board off, what I want you to do is put that pole way out here and walk right up behind me. Okay, that way you can see past me and we can net the fish over there. Okay?
Your first walleye. Nice job, bud. Well, that's pretty.
That's a nice fish. That's a real nice fish.
All right. Another beautiful fish. That'll replace one.
Oh, yeah.
That's for sure.
It's a nice fish.
That's the biggest one so far.
That's a hog, dude. Nice job. Right. Biggest one so far. Nice.
What do they do with the remains after you toss them in there?
The what?
What do you do with the remains after you toss them in there?
They haul them away on a septic truck. They come and pump out storage tanks, and I don't know where they're taking. But I'm assuming where they take sewer. Try to spread it in the field.
Can't recommend Sam and Pork Chop Express charters enough. It was a great trip. They put us on the fish and we caught our limit. I'll put a link in the description if you'd like to book with them too. Now let's get on with this cook. So the first thing we're going to do is prep our fillets. I took the time to vacuum seal all of them when we got home. These were actually already in the freezer and decided to go ahead and pull this package out. So I'm just going to cut it open and we'll take the first one of these out and go from there. So the first thing we're going to do is remove any pin bones that are in, and there we go. So it's that center line right there where you can feel the pin bones. I'm going to turn it over, see if I can feel any others. Okay. So really just right there. Now we are pan frying these, and from what I understand, the pin bones dissolve when you're frying them as opposed to baking them. But I don't want to take any chances. So we're just going to go right down alongside those. And there's actually very little flesh left on the other side of this fillet past the pin bone. So I'm probably just going to take this whole piece off right here. There we go. So that's going to be pretty good there for this one. And then I'm going to do a little bit smaller pieces, so I'm just going to cut this in half. And there we go. So there's our broken down fish ready to get breaded. I'm going to throw this in this Ziploc bag. I'm going to do these other 2 fillets. And I packaged these in about 3 fillets a piece, so maybe 4 sometimes. All right, so I'm going to get the rest of these done. I just found the pin bones right there on this one, and so we will bring you back. Okay, let's get our fish brining. So I've got some Cholula hot sauce here just because that's what I had. I love Cholula, but it really doesn't matter. I just like to use a little bit of it in the bag here. A little touch of flavor. Gonna add a little bit of milk. And then we're also gonna add a couple of egg yolks. Just the yolk. I think it helps crisp up better, so if a little bit of the white gets in there, it's not the end of the world. Ugh. Here we go. Do the other one. Struggling here a little bit with my egg yolks. So I'm going to end up doing a 3rd egg yolk there thanks to my incompetence. We're going to grab that, and I'm going to get this fish in the freezer, in the refrigerator, and it's probably going to be in there a few hours. I'm not quite sure when I'm going to cook this today. I don't have any specific time. I'd let it go in there at least 2 hours, then any time after that. So we'll bring you back. So what I didn't mention, and I hope it was obvious, but I'm going to get this bag closed, and I am going to make sure all those yolks are broken up and make sure this fish is covered. So we're just going to mix it around. Egg yolks are broken up. And I'll put this on some sort of tray just in case we have a leak, but I'm going to make sure it's sealed good. So there we go. Our fish in the milk, egg, and hot sauce brine. We will see you in a few hours. All right, we're going to get our fish breaded up. It's probably been about 3 hours that I've had this soaking. And we're going to use Fish Crisp today. I got it from Amazon. This is the Cajun blend. I actually really like this stuff. I haven't used the Cajun variety before, but I like Fish Crisp. So this is what we're going to use. Then get it open here if I can. Okay, so we got her open, and I'm just going to put some in the bottom of this pan here, this aluminum disposable pan. Pro tip, don't breathe this in. There we go. Definitely don't breathe this in. And we're just going to take our fish out a piece at a time and lay it in this breading. I'm not going to really dry it off, but I also don't want to put a ton of the liquid in the breading. So I'm just sort of going to let it drip dry for a second. And then we'll drop her in. And I'm just going to get a few of these in now. There we go. Press these first few in, and then we're just going to flip them over. Make sure we get fully coated. And try to do a wet and dry hand, but I just don't worry that much about it. Never seems to quite work out, at least for me anyhow. And after we get a good coating, we're going to just lay this on this cookie sheet here. Some of these thicker pieces I want to be sure and get the sides too. And there we go. So I'm going to get the rest of these done, and then we'll bring you back and talk about what we're doing next. So real quick, let me show you something I decided to do. I'm taking these and I'm re-dipping them in our egg and milk wash, and then back into the fish crisp. I'm not going to reuse this fish crisp anyway, and so we're going to see if this makes them even crispier. I may not get all of them done, but we're going to try. So back in, let it drip dry, and then back in the fish crisp. So a couple of things. I'm going to put this tray of fish back in the refrigerator now while I get everything else set up at the fry station. So that'll allow this breading to sort of set up anyway. And then we'll pull it out and get started. And I'm not going to season this fish other than the fish crisp. I don't want it to be too salty. I have made that mistake. And we can always salt it afterwards if it needs it. So I'll probably try a piece pretty quickly and see if it needs a little salt. And if it does, we can salt it then. So we will get this in the fridge and we'll see in a little bit. So I've got this big outdoor burner I bought maybe 2 years ago and never actually used. So I'm going to get this turned on and lit. I already tested lighting it. Oop. And it seemed to work okay. There we go. Turn this down just a little bit. Cool. There we go. I've got a enamel coated, porcelain coated cast iron pot here, and I've got it about halfway full of peanut oil. So that should be plenty. I'd rather fry in more batches than take a chance on it being too much. So I'm going to monitor the temperature of this. We're looking for about 375, just because when I put that cold fish in there, it will drop the temperature for sure. So I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. All right, so we're going to monitor the temperature. I will grab the fish and we'll bring you back. All right, I think we're getting close. I've got my ThermoPro infrared here. We'll check it. 340. So just a few more minutes. I'm going to let it give it a little bit above 350. Here's what I have here. I've got an aluminum pan with some paper towels and a spider. I've got my fish ready to go. I've got my thermometer. I've got a food safe glove that I'm going to use. And I've got some insulated gloves just in case. They're not going to stop hot oil, but if I had to do something real quick with this pot, I wanted something that wouldn't burn my hands off because this whole pot is scalding. All right. $350 almost. So I've got a little bit of this breading that clumped up, and I'm just gonna put it in and see what it does. All right, so this is gonna be ready anytime now. $3.60. Okay, so I'm going to lay my first piece. I'm going to go slow at first for sure. I'm going to go slow the whole time. Lay the fish away from me, and as they say, don't run from the oil. That is why I went ahead and wore a rubber glove, just to give it a little bit of resistance if any splashed up. I'm going to grab one of these little breading pieces, see how it is. So the fish will tend to float when it's done. I'm going to try to turn it at least one time. Breading's outstanding. Got a little spice to it actually, but that was only breading, so it'll get a little bit better when the fish is. Just want to make sure these are separated. It's a little bit of work and a little bit to clean up, but this is such a good way to do walleye or any fish for that matter. Try to flip this one over here. There we go. That one's actually looking pretty well done. It was a lot smaller, so we're going to call it on that one. I am going to take a quick temperature of this just to make sure that we're okay. $144. Yep, we're totally fine. Want to try to get it to around 145. $142 there, so we're getting there. I'm not going to temp every single one of these, but oh, okay. I need to turn this down a little. We're at 370 right now. All right, I'm going to get a couple more pieces in here and pull this other one out. Man, this one would make a freaking great sandwich. All right, I'm going to get the rest of this done. I won't keep you here for this whole time, and we'll bring you back. Okay, we're taking the last of our fish out. I'm going to turn the burner off. We'll get stuff inside, and we'll give this a try. Man, I love walleye. Can't wait. Swimming in Lake Erie 2 days ago. See you inside. All right, so here is our fish. Looks great. So when it comes to fish, I'm usually a cocktail sauce guy, but tartar sauce has its place too. So I made both. Really simple. The cocktail sauce has ketchup, but I actually used Heinz chili sauce. prepared horseradish to taste, the juice of half a lemon, about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, and I got a little too much horseradish in it, so I tamed it down a little bit with some sweet barbecue sauce. I think that's it. For the tartar sauce, mayonnaise, the other half of the lemon juiced, some sweet pickle relish, and a little bit of dill. So that's it. So I tell you what, let's try this. There we go. Fresh fried walleye. So good. You can just see the flakiness inside there. Maybe you can see it, I don't know. But I lost a piece of breading there. So let's try the tartar. So good. I love fried walleye. This was a fun cook, obviously. Got to spend a little time with one of the boys. Nothing like fresh walleye. Thanks for joining this different kind of video from BuQeye BBQ, and we will see you next time. Do me a favor and like this video and subscribe to the channel. And I got some plans coming up for some good stuff, so we'll see you next time.